Hello and welcome to Koru Kiwi Arts. Thank you for all being here. Thank you for all those who participated in last week's polling. I wasn't sure what I was going to do for a video, so I left it all up to you. And it looks like you would like me to do a tutorial video. Compositions, that's what I'm going to be focusing on for this tutorial video. So before we proceed, let's go outside. Now you're probably wondering, why have I brought you here to this wonderful looking garden? Composition, that's right. When a photographer or an artist wants to capture their subject, they get this L position, like that. You can create a rectangle or a square and they move it about, until they get the right composition that they want. Oh, that's looking pretty good, yeah. Move it over this way a little bit more, yeah, that's pretty good, yeah. So that's what they do, and that's what it's all about. It's making your spaces nice and even, making your picture look balanced. Now you can go about making your picture unbalanced if you want to get that appearance, if you want to make your picture uneasy or uncomfortable to look at. But the best thing to do when you paint a picture is always stand back and look at what you've done. And you can alter it, change it by adding a tree or making an area bigger or smaller, just to balance it out. You don't want your picture to sort of look askew. But anyway, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. Now this is one thing most people don't look at. Come to a garden, is look at the grass. Look at that lush grass. It's great to get out, especially on days like this. It's spring here in Istanbul. It's great to see the sun come out. The sun loves me. Yes, the sun loves me. It was better being stuck inside all day as well. Back in my early days, back in the 1980s, I used to process and develop black and white film. And it's a lot of fun. Now they've got digital cameras. They've taken all the fun away from you. I know it's a lot easier and it doesn't cost as much. But going into a dark room and developing a black and white film is really cool. When you do your cartridge, your actual film that comes out of your camera, you have to do it in complete darkness. So you're doing it blind. You're changing it, you're taking the film out, you're putting it into a canister to put all your developing fluids in there like fixer and developer and all this to create it. Create your negative to then create your photograph. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Camera works by a pinhole that is very small, and depending on how fast your shutter speed opens and closes, allows the amount of light that comes back and expose what it sees through the light on the back plate of your film. So you can have a long exposure or a short exposure. And yeah, so it's exposed on the back, and it works similar to this that I was mentioning before, but instead of a camera, you are the camera and you're viewing your picture the same way as you look at your camera. You're trying to get the best picture you possibly can for your painting or whatever you are doing at the time. So let me show you some other things that might grab your interest. Here we have a photograph. This may be my great uncle. I'm not sure who took this photograph, but it's more likely that my dad did. But as you can see, compositions is a way of putting your picture in balance, making it look appealing to the viewer. So it can act as a shape. So here we have sort of a squarish piece here, and here, one here, and this big black area here. Now it's quite large, this black area here, and it sort of draws your eye more towards this area here because it's heavy. It's a heavy part of the picture. So what I could do is I've cut some pieces of paper and I'll just lay it down and bring it more towards the center. Now that's looking a little better. See, this area here is the same size as this area, so we've got a nice balance going on there. Also his feet here is almost the same distance between the top of his head to the edge of the photo, but I can also add another piece of paper there to bring it down slightly. See, that's looking a lot better, and maybe through that. Now if that was going to go into a frame, that's how I would cut it, the picture. See, that's looking nice and balanced. This is nice and centered, and yeah, I like that. And having this cat here breaks it, but it pulls the picture more this way, but it's still balanced because you've got all this activity going on in here. So composition in your photographs is the same as paintings and pencil drawings or any sort of thing you do, even making carpets, putting patterns in carpets and stuff like that. So when your carpet is on the ground, you want your picture to look all nice and even. If I brought this down and cut this, it would look too top heavy. My main subject is this man, but the background is just too heavy. If I brought this up here, it's balanced, but if I had no other choice, then that would have to do. But it's still too top heavy. So you've got to make sure that when you start off with photographs, that you make sure that you get a larger area, and then you can cut it down to suit your frame. Now, let me show you another photograph. I have another photograph here. This is quite interesting. I'll bring this one, we'll make it larger. Okay, and let's get it in focus. Sorry for the shaking camera, or shaky camera. This is great. I like this photo because it's telling a story. You've got stairs coming up through here. You're wondering, where do they go? But your eye is focused to this van, to this tire, because it's a circle. Anything that has a circle in your picture, your eye always is drawn to it. But it's large here. It's nicely balanced because you've got a large area up through here, and you've got these nice vertical buildings on either side, and this path or footpath leading and going straight down. It's a nice composition of a photograph, and in the background you've got this large building which is in a light colour. So things that are that are in the background are lighter and things that are closest to you are a lot darker. That's how you can make a picture come forward towards you, giving you that perspective view. But not in all cases, because I've taken photos where the background was darker and everything in front was lighter. But rule of thumb, this is how it's normally done, like this. So this is a nice photo. But I could take a little bit off the side here, not too much. Maybe here. Yeah, that's a bit better. So whoever took this photograph, they weren't probably sure what they were taking at the time. They just randomly took this photograph, but by some fluke, or maybe they knew what they were doing, but for some fluke they managed to get everything uniformed. So it's looking really nice. I think my father took this photograph when they went to America. This could be in San Francisco. Now, to understand what I mean as in working out the distances between the areas within your picture, let's pretend that this is a house with some windows and a door, and we have this can be a cloud, okay, and let's make this a fence. So if I was going to lay those objects in the square here, I want them to look reasonably make them look like, well, I want to make them look appealing. So I could do that and go, okay, that looks all right. I can do this, put the fence under the house, put that cloud there. But we have all this empty space here, and it just doesn't look right. And we have, I mean, that looks even. We've got this side and this side. But if we take the pictures away and just rely on the shapes, because remember, when you're looking at your painting and when you're painting an object, you have to look at it as shapes, not what they are as in objects. So I'm going to try and make these look reasonably appealing. So this could be the house, this could be the fence, or whatever. So let's just pretend that these aren't any pictures, they're just shapes. I'm going to try and move these around so they look good. I could do that, but I don't know, it looks funny, not sure. So let me play around with this. It's going to take a while. Okay, this seems to be okay. It's a lot harder when you only got 3 objects. The more you have, the easier it is. Lucky that this was the same height as this one. That means this is balanced around here. This is more to the right hand side, but I kept these spaces here the same, put this in the center, and overall it's more to the left, but it's balanced. Okay, some of the other ways that you saw me try could work. Okay, so when it comes to doing your own painting or landscape, if you're doing something from your imagination, well, there's no right or wrong. But it's nice to make sure that your painting is looking, or your drawing is looking appealing. So if we had a horizon line there, and we put a tree here, like this, somewhere in here, and we could put another tree on this side to balance it out, but I could put maybe a large bush like so, and maybe a bush through here, because this is a lot larger, so I want to try and make this area here slightly larger. But if you're working from a photograph, it's going to be a lot easier. Now we come down. Now I'm going to put a couple of valleys, hills, or whatever through here. Like so. Oh, my pen's going to run out. Hope not. Maybe I could put another tree through here if I wanted to. Maybe this could be some farmland. So I'm going to put a little house here somewhere. Let's put a farmhouse in here. Little door. And maybe we'll put a barn here. We'll put a fence along the back there. Maybe deviate it over to the corner. Create a road. Come in around the property. Maybe the fence can follow the road. Put some more trees here. Maybe some tall trees through here. See, I'm trying to balance it out, make it look appealing. These ones are a lot closer, these trees, so I put some branches, and you can bring a lot of detail in this part because it's a lot closer, and these ones are going to have a lot less detail because they're further away. So let's put some trees in the background here. on a hill, maybe some here in the background. Maybe some trees here. Here. Make this the edge of my page, like so. Some grasses through here. This looks like it's a lot higher up, like this is up on a hill, this area here. So we'll put some grasses here. And this is looking down into the valley. Now we can put trees in the background here like that. Put some more trees here. And if we want to, we can put a mountain in the background. But today, there won't be a mountain. Let's do some clouds. No, clouds are, well, don't think about it, just draw them. Draw a line there like that. So in my picture here, I've created all these different shapes to balance out my picture. And the clouds have a lot to do with it as well. So I've got nice even spaces in here, the trees on either side. I've got the buildings to one side, but I make up for it on this side, and I've made this so it's higher up. And we will, maybe I could add another bush in there and some stones through here. This would make a nice painting. There you go. So when you do a painting, always, or a drawing on a big board, always stand back and have a look at it. Make sure everything looks balanced. And then if it's not, correct it by making something larger or making something darker or lighter. But the last thing you want to do is create something that looks a bit obscured, because it will bug you. It will, every time you see it, you'll go, oh, I'm not happy with that. I mean, it may be the best painting you've ever done. It may be full of detail and everything, and you'll probably say to yourself, wow. But if it's not correct, if it's not balanced, if you haven't got those spaces evenly spread out within your painting or your picture or your photo, it will never, it will always get you in the end, you know. So, I mean, there's some artists out there that deliberately do that, and they get away with it. In fact, I would like to do a painting that has no composition in it. I like to make a painting that's a bit disturbing in some ways. But at the end of the day, thank you for watching, and I hope this all explains to you what composition is all about, and see what I can come up with next week video. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day, and have a wonderful new week. And if I don't load up next week, it'll probably be the week after that, because I'm very busy painting at the moment. But I see we've got more subscribers, and thank you so much for joining our channel. It's a privilege to have you, and if you get a heart from me or a thumb up, it means I've read your comment. It's my way of saying thank you. Thank you very much. Bye now. Spring is my favourite time of the year.